Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to HIRA with Ruby Gyang. My name is Ruby Gyang, and we have a hot topic for you today. So you know what? Go call everyone. Call your friends, call your mother, call your dad, call your brother, call everybody. Because on this episode, we're going to learn, we're going to be entertained, we're going to be educated. Zomuji. There is a growing recognition of the untapped capacity and talents of women in politics in northern Nigeria. Over the last 2 decades, the rate of women's representation in national parliaments globally has increased. The meaningful participation of women in national, local, and community leadership roles has become an important focus on global development. Women's political participation results in tangible gains for democracy, including greater responsiveness to citizens' needs, increased cooperation across party and ethnic lines to a more sustainable future. There is also strong evidence that as more women are elected to office, there is a corollary increase in policy making that emphasizes quality of life and reflects the priorities of families, women, and ethnic and racial minorities. Some of the factors limiting women participation and representation include 1. Funding. 2. Patriarchy. 3. Sexism. To get more women in politics, more organizations need to look into supporting aspiring women politicians with funding for campaigns and running a stable structure. Political parties should recreate or adjust structures that consider the inclusion and protection of women within the political party. Government policies should insist on increasing the percentage of women within all civil and political staffing and appointments. Today on HIRA with Ruby Gyang, we are going to be discussing women in Nigerian politics. And joining us is Mrs. Linda Barrow Alhamdu. She's a former Commissioner of Agriculture, Plateau State, and she's presently the Deputy Director of Procurement at National Directorate of Employment Headquarters. She's a woman of many talents who wears many hats, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to tell us a lot more about herself and her journey and her accomplishments over the years. Thank you, Ma, for being with us here as we began.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I count it as a big honor.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. You know, before we go into the gist, I have to talk about this red color and how it's making you pop. You look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Ma. Okay, so Ma, just to give people just a brief, I know you've had a very historic, very successful, career path. Please just share with us a little bit, of how it's been for you.
While I was working, I joined the union.
Okay.
And I became a branch chairman of the NDE headquarters.
Okay.
I grew up to the Women Commission of FCT.
Yeah.
I became the chairperson, like that, until I got to National Secretary of the Women Commission of an affiliate of Nigerian Labour Congress, which is called OPTA. So while there, suddenly they said I should come for screening. I went for screening. What is it? They didn't tell us. DSS went for such due diligence to know who we are and all that. So it was at that point somebody told me that it should be for a position of a commissioner. And so by the time we became commissioners, looking at my work as a civil servant at the federal level, looking at my participation in union, I knew that once you become a leader, it is no longer for party. It is for everybody.
Okay.
So I started having problem with politicians. Whatever I'm doing, I tell them, it's not party, it's about the people. It's not party, it's about the people. So they now started saying, she's not a serious politician. So, but I am now a politician. I enjoyed it.
So Ma, what qualities do women need to have or to develop if they now want to enter this space and be successful in the political arena?
Naturally, a woman should be a mother.
Okay.
A woman should be a person of integrity. because you are a bridge builder, you raise children. They are the ones that end up becoming leaders in the society. So naturally, your personality
so that nurturing
matters. Yes, matters. And then it depends on the peculiarity of the place.
Okay.
There are places that women don't shake men. But obviously, when it comes to leadership, people come out to do something. The only way you can show them care and love is shaking them.
Yes.
So, good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. In some communities, you don't do that.
Yes.
So it differs, different things that we will not be able to explain here.
Okay.
So, but you look at the environment, the terrain, and then see how you'll be able to navigate and then present yourself well.
There's improvements we know in terms of women entering the political space, right? But, you know, just to shed light on that, what are the barriers, you know, that make it harder for women to thrive in politics?
Basically, it's selfishness from the part of men.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's selfishness. Because every man, as I speak to you, I've not seen one man that has told me that his sons are better than his daughters. Every man tells me, hi, my children, daughters, you can count on them any day, any time. But when it comes to position, they don't want the daughters. But they want their own daughters somewhere, to be considered somewhere. But it starts, life is give and take. If there are female in your community that require something, you don't recognize them. There's not how your own daughter will be recognized tomorrow.
Wow, wow, wow.
But our population, women are more than the men. And many women have the capacity.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they be given the chance? It's not free, they come in. They are also in the field. But once a woman puts her head to say, should you see the opposition so high as if she's not supposed to be there. Whether we like it or not, time will come that you will have 7 to ratio 3 of women at leadership space.
Seven women, 3 men.
To 3 men.
Wow, what makes you say that?
Space in the next decade.
Wow.
It's coming.
Okay.
Because this resistance will give birth to laws.
Okay, okay.
It shouldn't be law. Allow people to participate. And another thing is that as women, we have always had this feeling, and it's true, that we are the, what do we say? The women are the...
Weaker? Or
No. Women are the enemies of themselves.
Yeah, that's a very common,
common
thing.
So, well, it won't clear the same day. I keep telling people, the way a woman is created, she's created to dominate her environment. She's on her brother, on her brother's wife, her children, her eyes, everywhere. So she's supposed to dominate that environment to ensure that nothing happens, no challenge, no problem comes out at any quarter, you know, that will affect the family. So when 10 women are together,
it's gonna be tough.
So all of them are having
alphas.
that same feeling.
Okay.
So if you have 10 women in a room, you find out that one is better in fashion, one is better in cooking, one is better in this. So let us bring all these things together. According to a preacher, he said the friction of every friction in a family is meant for romance, not for enmity. So those frictions, those qualities, you're supposed to bring them together so that it can make our journey easier. So, but when a woman comes out, she now, because of this scenario I've painted to you, she walks up to say, I want to be this. It's difficult. Even the men, when you see them, they start by lobbying.
Amongst the women?
Amongst themselves. Getting people that have the same mindset with what they want.
Okay.
And they gather themselves together and begin to, okay, we want to go for this position. Okay, how do we settle those people? You know, they balance it.
That's fantastic, ma. Okay, so right now we're going to go on a short break. We still have our fabulous guest, Mrs. Linda Burrow Alhamdu, with us. We'll be right back. Okay, ma. So what we do is we have one of our journalists go out on the streets to talk to people, sample opinions, and they're going to go. She's going there and talking to them and finding out about what people think about women in politics. So we're going to check that out now. We'll come back and then we'll talk about it. So join us. Sanukudika, welcome to another fantastic episode of HIRA Streets. I am Pippa, and on today's episode, we're talking about women in politics. So we are currently at the beautiful Jabi Lake, and we're trying to get into the minds of the people, so we kind of like know what they're thinking about women in politics. Should they go into politics or not? Will they allow their spouses to go into politics or not? Or even women, are they going to join politics at some point? Kuzomaje, let's talk on HIRA Streets.
I think women are natural leaders in our communities, in our family, in everywhere. Women are leading.
Women in politics, I don't think they are better than men in politics. One thing the women just like to do is just to use emotion to overrate or power everything, to influence something to themselves through emotion.
I don't see women participating in politics the way they ought to be, looking at the population.
I don't think politics should have gender.
They are more concerned about what they perceive as gender inequality. So, and that is why they're actually clamoring for such a representation, certain percentage of representation in politics or certain elective position.
You see, women go through a whole lot. The major part of what they go through is the pregnancy. You know, pregnancy takes like nine months.
When you check the percentage against the percentage of men, you will see that they are more corrupt.
If there's a level playing ground, I'd like to go into politics.
Yes, why not? But I would like to know her associate.
Generally, politics is not a clean business globally. So, of course, if she wants to go into politics, why not? But with checks.
I remember Dora Akinyuli. I remember Ezekwesili.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I think the current Minister of Women Affairs, she has been in politics, and I like her political courage because she's been the one that has been contesting for presidency, even if at the primaries, even if she will have just one vote, but she will make sure that she will be in the race, and she has always been in the race. And the current APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Senator Binani, I think she's also one of the persons I respect in politics as a woman.
Okay guys, so we've come to the end of today's episode on HIRA Streets. And my Jabi Lake people have spoken, you heard them all. They've told us whether women should go into politics or not, and would also want you at home watching to leave us a comment on our socials. So you can follow us on our socials at HIRA with Ruby Gyang. Okay, and as for me, I am out. Okay, and we're back. So Ma, you heard the comment of the person saying that women in politics are prostitutes. What's your reaction to that? Is that something you heard when you went into politics, and do you think it's changing?
Well, I think issue of calling women prostitute, even at the motor park, once a man is angry with you, he calls you ashawo.
Haka, that's true.
Even in the class as a student, when a male student is angry with you, you say ashawo. So I think in Nigeria, for the male gender, to them is a way of just abusing a woman in a manner that putting her down.
Degrading her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not different in politics.
Wow.
So the only way they can abuse is to say ashawo. It's not different in even in all professions.
Yeah. I want to go back to a comment you made. You talked about how eventually in this country we'll get to the point where you're going to have 70-30 female to male representation in government, which I think is such a positive or an optimistic thing. There's a quote that says, there is no power that can stand against an idea whose time has come.
Yeah.
Right. So I know that none of these will just happen without people, or particularly the female gender, stepping up en masse, into this arena. So I want to ask, my question is, how can a young female, maybe someone 20s, 30s, who is interested in politics, what does she need to do? What are those steps that have to happen?
Grassroots politics is very important.
So, okay.
It's very, very important.
Okay.
You must know how it is at the grassroots. If you're in the city, yes, we are not saying you have to travel to your village to go and find out this, but follow political groups. By the time you go for 1-2 activities, you will know the importance of your grassroots.
I see.
I remember there are leaders that won election in this nation and they said they didn't win in their wards.
Wow.
Yes, and they were laughing at them with them. That means you're not accepted in your ward.
Wow.
Whatever, however you came in, your ward rejected you. That's what it means.
So
They
that's-
rejected you by vote.
Wow.
So it's like an insult.
Okay.
So it's a grassroots politics is very important. You don't even know who is a councillor of your ward.
Yes.
Yes, many of us here. Do we know the councillors of our wards?
You know, I have a story I love telling, and it is. So I never, to be honest, I never really paid attention to politics, and it wasn't until the time where there was a particular bill being passed, which was the social media bill. I know, me being in entertainment, if the control of social media is extreme, it will affect our work.
Yes.
Because that's how we relate with our audience, our
Yes.
customers. So the bill was going to be passed, you know, really restricting us, and that's the side effect of that. And we're told by this NGO, I've forgotten the name, that you know, you can reach out to your representatives and tell them you don't want this bill to be passed, and they have to listen to you. By the way, there's a website that has their phone numbers, their emails. By law, they have to be accessible.
Yes.
So you can reach out to them. So I got the numbers, I got texts. So we did SMSs, we did WhatsApp, we did emails, we got social media. So I'm from a huge clan. My family is huge. So I sent it to everyone and said, listen, guys, we need to stop this. We sent messages. Eventually, one of their aides reached out to me via the phone. I was like, listen, we've heard from you guys. We're not going to support the bill, okay? Just leave us alone. We harassed them. And that showed me the power of being able to access, or, you know, just that grassroots access and being able to access, you know, leaders. So I want you to talk, before you go, you know, just talk more in terms of the need, how women need to show up in this space. You know, why is it important? Why do they need to be active participants in the civic space, you know?
Being the chairperson of League of Women Voters,
Yes.
well, right back the union days, I found out that associations gives us more strength in fighting issues.
Yes.
While being Commissioner of Agriculture, we found out that cooperatives, which is still association,
Yeah.
gets better support for farm inputs
Than
than an
individuals.
individual.
Yes.
I found out too that NGOs, they operate because it's a group
Yes.
that will be able to have a voice. So for anything you are doing, speaking alone will not give you results
Yeah.
as association would give.
Okay, ma. So we're going to go into another segment of the show, which is the game section, right? We're not just all about serious stuff. We also want to have fun. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to test ourselves, you know, our knowledge of women in politics. And so how it happens is, like, you pick a question, you ask, I'll answer, you answer, we go to the next one, and we'll see how well we do. Okay. So right now I'm going to call Mayam to bring in the questions and let the games begin. So please go ahead.
Okay, I should pick one?
Yes.
Okay.
Ask.
Okay. My glasses.
You need a
Name a female senator.
female senator. Remi Tinubu from
Yes.
Lagos.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you too.
Right in my state,
Okay.
Senator Nora Dadut
Oh.
from Plateau Senatorial South.
Nice. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna pick one now. God, let it be something I know, please. Okay, name a female governor.
Female governor
Yes.
in Nigeria.
Yes. Do we have?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Incoming.
Incoming. Nice. So that's Aisha to Ahmed Benani.
Yes.
That'll be great. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, the writing is so faint.
Okay, let me.
Help me read it.
Female minister.
Female minister.
Hot zero, please. You.
Right in my state too.
Okay, wow. Plateau is
Her
really...
Excellency Honorable Dem Pauline Talent.
I'm sorry. It didn't click. I think from what I just want to chip in, from what it seems like Plateau State is more progressive when it comes to having more female participation, do you think?
Yes, at least for the first time,
states, right?
you know, as we said, the journey
Yes.
of a million miles starts with a
Yeah.
step. For the first time, we have a female senator in Plateau State.
Wow.
So that's why
Yes.
I can't just forget that.
Okay.
And I know we worked towards that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so this is me. Let me see. Name a female president.
Nigeria, no. Even the present ones, but one woman in my mind always is the former president of Sierra Leone, Salif Johnson.
Nice,
Salif
true.
Johnson.
Nice, true. I think a present one I know is Trinidad and Tobago, Paula May Weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I call her Rihanna.
Yeah. Okay.
They are friends.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ma. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much.
We definitely, it was informative, it was educative, it was entertaining, and it was also fun. And that is what we seek to do on HIRA with Ruby Gyang. So thank you for being such an awesome guest, and we look forward to having you on the show again in the future.
Anytime. Thank you so much, Ruby, and your team.
Thank you, Ma.
And I said, this is great honor to me.
Thank you.
And I'm very grateful.
We're grateful to have you
Yes.
too. Okay. This was an awesome show. I'm sure you agree with me. Like I told our guests that this was informative, educative, and entertaining, just as we promised. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Next up is an exciting performance by a spoken word artist, Deborah Johnson.
Before you fall in love with me, know that I am not to be messed with. I am a Nigerian girl. This means that my hands are quick enough to hit you, as slow as my mouth is to say, I love you. Never let a boy know he has your heart. This means that even though my mother forbids me from having boys over, I have had my guy friends 1,000 times over. I am a rule breaker. I will not hesitate to break you. Before you fall in love with my brother, know that he is a Nigerian boy. This means that he's buried under years of patriarchy and oppression, doesn't think he has any worth if he cannot pay the bills. He is taught to be man enough, but not too manly, so he doesn't become a thug. To be named king in the house because his gender is the color of royalty, blue. This means that he can leave the house late and come back even later. Cannot be oppressed because he wields the weapon of oppression within his thighs. Can only be oppressed when he goes out into the real world as an adult and sees that his mothers and sisters are not in handmaiden uniform, waiting to pass him opportunities like they do a plate of warm food before you love us. Understand our history. Understand that our country sometimes fluctuates between home and cage. Kidnappers like Legos rampage. Rice costs more than an arm and a leg, and literally everywhere else in the world is a head, and literally every Nigerian functions better when they're not in Nigeria, and literally we are all insane. Our boys have mental health more sinking than the Titanic. Our governments are the only ones feeding its crew like the crew's barbaric. Our children aren't safe. And we just got our Twitter back. We're cut off from the world. I keep a torchlight by my side. We can lose electricity at any moment, so I have to be prepared. So I'm always prepared. I'm a ninja. The only thing that can surprise me is my country actually treating her people right. I am a Nigerian girl. This means I have to work twice as hard as the average kid from another continent. This means that I am beyond creative. This means that I am a fighter. Hell, I'm tougher than a fighter. Call me gladiator. This also means I have to unlearn romanticizing the suffering. I choose to no longer glorify my ability to withstand pain. My worth is not validated by how much I can endure. Look, ancestors, I did it. I didn't break for this long. Lies. This is not a weightlifting championship. There are no trophies for this burden.
Oh my goodness, Deborah Johnson, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Amazing. You know, when you were you know, doing your thing, the thing that came to mind was bold, irreverent, a little controversial, which I absolutely enjoy. What inspired that?
Okay. The piece was inspired by Nigeria and the situation of things in
What
Nigeria.
about Nigeria? What specifically just got to you? What frustrated you to that point?
I don't know. I think when you suffer something with it,
Okay.
you create from it.
I absolutely love it. So, how did this come about though? Like, how did you start?
I always liked to read and subsequently write, but I started performing in 2020.
Oh my goodness, that's so recent.
Yeah.
You're absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, what's going on for you? What can we expect next?
Right now, I am trying to find stability within my art and also find how to express it with other art forms. So that's where I am at.
That's so dope. So in the meantime, if people want to find you, where do they need to go?
I'm on Instagram at DEBI_XSON.
Awesome. So you guys, you heard it first. You can find Deborah Johnson on Instagram. Check out, she has a lot of work on her page, so check it out. Deborah, we hope to find you again on our season 2. We show you come through. All right. Special thanks to our guest, Mrs. Linda Barrow Alhamdu, for just the fabulous presentation today. Thank you, Deborah Johnson, for that amazing performance. And a special big thank you to our sponsors, Worthy and the How Foundation, because without them, this would not be here. And last and certainly not the least, I can't say this enough, thank you, our viewers, for tuning in, for supporting us. We'll be back again. See you at the next episode. Bye.